So, thank you for joining us for tonight's free horse business marketing office hours. It's March 10th, 2025, and today we are discussing short form video content creation for horse farms. And as always, this short webinar is brought to you by Christina Derby Consulting and Dark Horse VA. So my name's Tina Derby, and I own Christina Derby Consulting out of Ocala, Florida. And my colleague Chris Allen is here with me. And Chris owns Dark Horse VA, which is based in Arnold, Missouri. And Chris and I, through our companies, offer various services for horse farms, and we specialize in things like website design, digital ad creation, and ad campaign management, email campaign development, budgeting and business plan development, appointment setting and customer follow-up, pitch deck creation, and assistance with capital raises from private investors, and customer relationship management systems for horse farms. And we do some other things too, but those are the main things we do during the day. So, short form video. What's that?
I said it's you, me, and Kristen.
Yeah,
And
you and
Stinky.
Kristen and Stinky and Tim's note taker. So, yes, exactly.
Yep. Mhm.
So,
Sorry, I'm shy.
okay, so short form video content overview. So what is short form video? Short form video is or are videos that typically are under 60 seconds or around 60 seconds in length, and they're designed for quick engagement and easy consumption. Popular platforms for short form video include TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Attention grabbing. So short form video is pretty fast paced generally, captures the audience interest within the first few seconds to maximize engagement. And it's like you don't even allow pauses. Like if I went and I paused like that, you don't even want to have that much of a pause in your short form videos. You would actually literally, as you're editing it, you cut those pauses out. Like it's like, it's almost like a music video, but that doesn't have music. So it's, 1 or 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds of, clips, just boom, 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 boom together, and you get rid of all the extra. So it's mobile optimized. So that means that they're 9:16 ratio. So they're taller rather than wider. Like if you go to YouTube and you watch YouTube on your computer and it's wide, right? It's wider than it is tall. That's the opposite. Short form video is made for taller rather than wider viewing. As I mentioned, the editing is very fast paced, quick cuts. A lot of times people will put text overlays on it because a lot of people will watch videos with the sound off. And so that's very common to do. Music and visual effects to maintain viewer attention. Like it's fast. It's very fast. Authentic, but at the same time, right? But it's authentic and relatable. A lot of people, especially if you go, I think to TikTok in particular, you'll see people that look like they like just got up or maybe didn't even get up yet. Their hair's kind of messed up and they're just wearing a old shirt or pajamas or whatever. Not all the time, but it's not unusual to see that. So it's just very much like someone just grabbed their phone and started talking. And they maybe have makeup on, maybe they don't. It's just they maybe have part of their makeup done. It's all over the place. So it's just very, very real, like you're there with somebody. And one of the beautiful things about this is that it makes this kind of content very quick and easy to create. So you can sometimes literally just film the content usually people use their phones to do it. They just film it and upload it, or film it, do a couple quick edits, and then upload. So you could make a piece of content in 5 minutes. I mean, you might make it in less. You might literally film it for 60 seconds or 30 seconds, be like, yeah, that's good, that's fine, it does what I need, and you just upload it and you're done. So very, very fast. to create, and yet very effective. So that's sort of really interesting because usually you think that, okay, it's going to have to be like a lot of production time and editing time and thought into it, but this is not that at all. So for horse farms, okay, so what kind of content can we create that would be short form video that would be of interest to people, right? And so we came up with 10 different ideas for riding academies, and then I'll also show for show horse farms and for sale horse barns. So for riding academies, the 10 ideas I came up with, and you can come up with a million more because there's infinite ideas, but here's just a few to get your head thinking. What to expect in your first riding lesson. A lot of people, like those of us who have been riding horses our whole lives, we forget what it might be like to not know what to expect at a riding lesson because I don't remember a day that my life that I didn't have riding lessons. Like, but for a lot of people, it's like, oh my gosh, what happens at a riding lesson? They don't know. So giving a little overview of what to expect at a riding lesson would be really appreciated by people. Things like three mistakes that beginners make when learning to ride at a posting trot, right? We all remember, you know how hard it is to learn the posting trot at the beginning. And so, that's something that a lot of folks would be like, oh my gosh, I have to learn to post, or I'm trying to learn to post and I haven't gotten it yet. So that's a great type of topic to talk about. A lot of interest in that. What's in my grooming kit, right? Again, for those of us who've been doing this forever and a day, we just take it for granted that you've got different kind of brushes and you've got hoof picks and you've got a sponge and, you know, rags and whatever else, right? All kinds of things you put in a grooming kit. But for people that are new to this sport, that is sort of a mystery. And also, actually, even people that have been doing this a while also like to see what other people are using, right? Maybe there's some new sort of like the pick brush, right? Which the pick brush is a recently invented brush that's got a hoof pick and it's got sort of like almost like a little wire brush, like a very hard brush. And Laura Kraut, the Olympic rider Laura Kraut, invented it a few years ago because she was always using a hoof pick and then she was taking a brush and brushing at the horse's hooves. And so she literally made a product that she now sells and it's called the pick brush. And, that's one of the things that you would find in her grooming kit. So people are always interested in sort of new ideas or what, other people are doing. People are curious. And so that's popular, I think, for a lot of people to watch. So here's one, number 4, how to safely approach and pet a horse. Sounds so basic that like who would want it to know this? Well, I'll tell you, I have a client that was in San Diego and she had a blog on her website, and the most popular post on her blog was how to pet a horse. And I like when I first saw it, I thought that was like a joke. And then I went to it, I'm like, no, it's a serious article about how do you pet a horse. And I'm like, I guess, again, when you grow up with horses, it's second nature. But for a lot of people, they don't know how to pet a horse and they want to know. So that was actually, it's a great post and I think it'd be a great video. Day in the life of a lesson horse. So showcasing your wonderful lesson horses that work so hard and their little quirks and their, you know, funniness and silly things they may do or whatever, or that they're so easygoing, like Lisa Robertson. I saw one of her videos for one of her horses where the girl was like, she went off the back of the horse and then up on the horse and around, turned around on the horse, and you just like the horse wouldn't, it just stood there so good and well behaved, and it could have like literally run away and it didn't. So, anything like that people will find to be interesting. Maybe the horse just eating peppermints or like funny things it would eat. Some horses like champagne, all those kinds of things. People find that fascinating, right? People don't know. So the same thing will sort of meet our favorite schoolmaster, similar video concept there. Funny moments from our lessons. So this is what I thought was a really cute idea. This actually came from ChatGPT. Lighthearted clips of giggling students and silly horse antics, because we all have those, right? Or relatable struggles like trying to pick up the correct lead, or trying to like back through an L or whatever, right? Like stuff that is, it's just a lot of fun and not always that easy, but you have to laugh it off and have a good time with it. And it also makes me think of when we used to play games when I was growing up, we had a summer camp at our farm, and we would have like do red light, green light, where you could go forward during green light, and then at red light you had to stop, and there's this whole game thing. I won't get into it, but anyhow, it was fun, and people like to see that sort of, it's not just serious riding around the arena, but some of the fun stuff that we all do with horses. Oh, how riding lessons teach more than riding. So that's a great one that I think a lot of people, you hear about some some people going like, oh, it's just an old hay burner, that horse, and it's so expensive, and why would you, spend time riding? It's, you know, why? Well, because obviously, I mean, a lot of us love it, but also riding, especially for kids, but also for adults, teaches so many important things. For kids, obviously, like responsibility and discipline and teamwork. A lot of adults also teamwork and, relaxation. And there's just so many things you can get out of it. So that can make a great video. Doing before and afters. This is a cool idea. You got to obviously plan this out a little bit, but people love to watch a progression of something. So if you do little clips of a video of like a brand new student, and then, month one, month two, month three, month four, through like month six, and like that would really speak volumes without you having to say anything, right? To see, wow, how this kid could first got there, didn't know how to get on a horse, and then, by the end of month six, they're trotting or cantering or whatever it is they're doing, or doing cavalettis or whatever. So that can be really powerful and really sort of sell your program, so to speak, without you having to sell anything. So that's very effective. Students, so this kind of goes back to sort of the fun, exciting things, but this is more exciting than the funny. But like cantering for the first time, right? Or jumping for the first time, or something substantial like that is exciting, and a wow factor. People like to see that and get excited about that, and people really relate to that. A lot of times you see that in the comments. People, say, "Oh, I remember when I first cantered for the first time," and da 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 da. So it's very cool. People enjoy that. So that was for riding academies. For show barns, I'll go a little faster now. So 1 through 10, packing for a horse show. Again, very educational as well as interesting, and sort of good for curiosity as well as education. Quick fixes for common show ring mistakes. That's easy for a lot of us to come up with, because, all kinds of ideas there that we probably a lot of us have. Behind the scenes at a horse show, especially if, well, smaller shows too, but a lot of people are really curious about the bigger shows, if you go to any of those. How we get our horses ready for a horse show, braiding, grooming, all that. Meet our top show horses. So just sort of highlights of your best horses in action. How to handle nerves at competitions. That's a topic that's a very hot topic. So if you have any good ideas for that, I think you'll get a lot of comments and interest in that. I've certainly seen that on some posts I've done. Judges wish you knew this. So this is really cool. It could even interview a judge, if you are a judge, great. But if you're not, you could interview somebody, or just talk about what you've noticed that judges, you know, consi consistently talk about and have either issues with or suggestions for things that are common things that judges want people to know. Rider transformation, again, this is sort of showing the progress over time. That's a really cool idea. You do have to be a little organized, because you have to like take your clips over time and then keep them in like a certain folder or whatever. But it's not hard to do. You just have to do it and be a little organized. Day in the life of a show trainer. That's people that haven't been a trainer at horse shows probably don't realize how incredibly busy and long those days are. Basically from before sunup to way past sundown. So that is, I think, an interesting glimpse into the world of trainers that people probably didn't even appreciate. Why winning riders invest in professional coaching. So that's a little bit more of an educational slant to that one. And, it's sort of, I think maybe if you're a coach, if you're a show horse barn rather, it's a little bit of a soft sell as to, why you might invest in our professional coaching. But it's an important topic, and one that I think it would actually be nice to see more people talk about that, because I think a lot of people would do better with their horses if they had more professional coaching, those who don't. Anyhow, okay, sale horse barns. So, how to pick the right horse for your goals. Well, I've seen a lot of people maybe have the wrong horse for the goals, so that's very helpful advice that's probably, again, good to get out there into the world and of interest to a lot of people. 5 red flags to avoid when buying a horse. What we look for in great horse temperament, right? So, how do you evaluate a horse's personality? Day in the life of a sales horse. So, basically, just what happens at a sale horse barn, how you train the horses, feeding them, etc. How we prepare a horse for a sale video. So, that's kind of interesting, especially things like how you get the horse's ears up during the sale video, because that can be quite a challenge. And there are definitely some interesting ways that people manage to do that. Before and after retraining a green horse. Again, this is one that's sort of over time. So if you have a, brand new horse and you just keep filming it over the months, and then, you clip all those videos together, that can be really good. Or you could just do a series of videos about that one particular horse. Top 3 things to look for in a whatever kind of horse. Common myths about buying a horse. People love common myths, that kind of thing. That's real popular in anything. What to expect at a horse trial ride. So, again, if you've been riding and doing horses your whole life, you know what it's like what happens when you're going to go buy, look at a horse to buy. But a lot of people, they don't know how, what that is. How does that work? So that's a wonderful, helpful video to put out there. Behind the scenes, vetting a sales horse. I think a lot of us that have ever sold horses know that vetting it's important, and you want to have horses vetted, certainly horses of a certain dollar amount anyhow. You want to definitely have vetted. And what happens then, and what happens when you get the results, and maybe the horse wasn't completely perfect on its vetting. Well, does that mean you don't get the horse? Do you get the horse anyhow? So that's a whole, you could totally do a whole series on just, vetting horses. But anyhow, so those are just, a handful of ideas for each type of those different types of farms. But one thing you'll probably notice in all of those was that was non-selfish content. And so, okay, so what is non-selfish content? Because that's very important. So if we take a step back, Gary Vaynerchuk, who, if you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, he is one of the foremost marketers in the world. And the way he puts it is, he says, you wouldn't walk into a cocktail party and start pitching your products. You'd start conversations, telling stories, and building relationships. And social media is like a cocktail party. So you don't just go in and start selling on social media. You want to build relationships, talk to people, and engage with people first. And then talking about your products naturally can happen, but you don't go in there just starting to pitch and try to sell everybody on your stuff. It would be awkward and weird and not appreciated, and people will just sort of turn their backs on that. So to make non-selfish content, basically you want to look at doing a few things. You want to look at solving problems, and this is important as it really builds trust and authority. Answering common questions, providing solutions that position you as an expert. People really will trust you, and they enjoy, and I think all of us enjoy following people who help us, not just people who are trying to sell us things, right? Educational content, that makes you a go-to resource for sure. And again, if you just think about the people that you follow and the people you like on social media, I think almost all of us like people that offer educational content. Builds a lot of loyalty, and when people see you as an authority, they naturally become interested in what you offer. So you're selling without selling, right? Entertaining, that's, for me, that's a little harder. For some people, entertaining is very easy, but if you are an entertaining sort of person, and I think it's a skill you could build too. Funny, relatable, thought-provoking, any sort of post like that tends to spread organically. People really love that. And of course, the more engagement a post has, the more the algorithms favor it, and the wider uh, it will be spread by the algorithms, the more people will see it. And the main idea through all of this is gaining trust first. And that's important because people will buy eventually from people that they know, like, and trust. And by consistently posting helpful, engaging content, you basically are earning the right to sell later. And then when the day comes that you do mention a product or service, you have an audience that already likes and trusts you. And, there's a lot of, if you think about it, there's a lot of like horse farms that we all know about, but do we also like and trust them? Not necessarily. If they advertise a lot or they post a lot, you may see them all over the place and their logo everywhere and their ads everywhere. But if you don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling when you see their stuff, that's not optimal. I mean, it's good that you know them. That's one of the three things, but it's know and then like and trust. So you really need to be careful that you're doing the liking and the trusting part too. So, yeah, that's actually it. That's the presentation. It's exactly a half hour, actually. So, oh no, this wasn't it. Oh, sorry. That was brilliant. No, I put together some marketing resources for you. I forgot I stuck this slide in at the end. So, Gary Vaynerchuk, if you haven't looked at his stuff, if you don't know about him, you totally need to check him out. He's just one of the most amazing marketers, as I said, out there. And his Instagram is at Gary V. He's on every social, but for short form content, I think Instagram's one place to look for him. I think also on TikTok, it's probably at Gary V too. Kaylee Broderson, she's an amazing TikTok star. She's a star seller, and she also has out a lot of really helpful information on how to create great short form content. So you probably really want to check her out, particularly on TikTok. She's on YouTube too a little bit, but she's more so on TikTok. Alex Hormozy, like Gary Vaynerchuk, he's just one of the most popular marketers in the world today. And absolutely, if you're doing marketing, you should know about him and you should look at his stuff. And his Instagram is at Hormozy, Hormozi. And then there's a million, right? This list could go on infinitely, but Are You Kidding TV they have
Funny.
8 million. Yeah, they are funny. They have 8 million TikTok followers and they do really easy little sort of stunts or challenges that I think anybody in just about any sort of industry could modify and do them. And obviously with 8 million TikTok followers, these guys are on to something. So I think that looking at their content is definitely would be a very smart thing to do.
Well, they're giving away money.
Yeah, they
I
give a
watched
little
a
bit.
couple of them.
Yeah, they do give
And
away
then
money, but it's a little bit of money, but they're not just giving it away like hand. They
no.
also
I think actually I watched a couple of the videos and it's actually I was very impressed by them because they're just spreading kindness. That's really what they're doing. And they're
yeah,
asking people to trust them. Though, so one of them
yes,
I watched is when you get $1,000 when you give me your dog for a day. And then
yes, yes,
they actually did a photo shoot with a dog and made it like a photo collage for the person. So it was
yes.
really sweet. It was really
It
cute.
was
Yeah,
darling.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's very cute. And you can tell when you watch the videos, people love them. I mean, they've got 8 million followers for a reason, right? People love them. And they're, you know, they've just got massive reach. Whatever they're doing, it's definitely working. And, and it is, they do give the small rewards, but it's not like Mr. Beast gives like mammoth, like, you get $1 million if you win his stuff. These guys, you get $100. I mean, it's nice, but it's not,
Nope,
gonna break the
nope,
bank,
nope.
which I think
So
is
I
cool
saw
because
another one.
uh-huh.
They gave away a MacBook Pro. They gave
Oh
away
yes,
a MacBook Pro.
yes, I saw that one too. Yeah. That one was a little more
Yeah,
expensive, granted. But I think
yeah.
what they're doing could be could be with a little bit of thought, and I haven't had enough
Fun.
time to really think about it, but I think with horses, we could do things similar, especially where we have, horses where somebody could complete like a challenge and then, win a riding lesson, right? Or something like that. So I think that it would be pretty easy to use horses as the prize, right, rather than cash. And I think that you could get a lot of people. Now, obviously, for a horse farm, this would be more of a local thing for, at least for a riding academy type thing. But I
Local
think that,
better.
what?
I said local's better when we're talking about trying to get riding lessons.
Yeah. So I think that with some brainstorming, which hopefully we'll all do tomorrow night at our Tuesday meeting, that we can come up with some really innovative ideas that would, you could use to getting attention, right? Because it's hard to get attention these days because everyone's
I
always
don't think that's what it,
bombarded.
I, yeah, I don't think that's, I don't know. They're just, for my daughter, from what I've seen with her and everything, that's just genuinely kind. That's really what it is. What's what people like there, I think. And they have, well, I guess it's about the money first, but now they have so many followers. You can tell that they're famous because they're all freaking out about them.
They
There's
all
like a
freaking out.
big
They all want to
crowd
take their
around them.
selfies. Yeah, they all knew
Yeah,
who,
the
and
little
yeah,
girl
they,
didn't
they
know
know
anything.
exactly who they are. What?
That was really cool. The little girl. Did you see the one with the little black girl?
No, I didn't see that one. Where she gave them the $20 and then they gave her 100. Yes, I did see that one.
Should we help
Yeah,
these people? Yes. Yes, we should
so
help them. And then
cute.
the little girl and got the $20, and then he gave her the 100 back, which she didn't know before. She just wanted to
No,
help them, so to speak. That was
she was
cute too.
that was darling
Yeah,
because she was so
she was very,
sincere. Yeah, it was
yeah.
lovely. So I think that it could be, I think that they're somebody really worth looking at and super successful and nice and fun and people love them. There's no question people love them because yeah, there was a lot of smiles and a lot of happiness, involved. So
Yeah.
and that's more, and as we were talking about, like, that's what I was like when I'm saying, okay, so there's a lot of horse farms where you know who they are. There's a lot of famous people, right? Where you know who they are. You hear the name a million times. So yeah, I know. But do I feel warm and like happy and would I get excited if I saw them necessarily in the park or whatever, like with those guys? Not necessarily, right? I mean, maybe they're a famous person, but what's important is to not just, I think horse farms have done this for a long time, is they just do a lot of advertising or they go to the shows and they put up their big displays, right? Their big drapes and everything. And so their names are out there. But I don't know that they've really built a relationship and great feelings with people. I mean, some of them do for sure, no question about it. But, I think it's important that when we're doing marketing, we don't just stop at okay, so everybody knows my logo, everybody knows my name. It's more than that. It's you need everybody needs to like you and trust you. And so go ahead. Yeah, go, Lisa.
So Saturday, um, Keisha walked in the barn. He has a horse he boards here. And so
Mhm.
he knows me through that. And he said, I'm going to be sending you money later today. I'm buying Amber. You bought my yearling filly. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I know. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, did you want to do pre-purchase exam? He goes, no. I said, do you want to do the contracts first? He goes, no. So it
Wow.
does help if people know you and trust you. So I was at my niece's wedding reception and my phone dinged that $5,000 had been deposited to my account. And I'm like,
Like,
I'll get those
yeah,
numbers to you.
hey, I'm glad. Right? Wow. That's the perfect story because it's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, I love it. And congratulations on selling your
Thank you.
horse. Your filly, is she a yearling?
She is a yearling filly.
Yearling. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
That's really, really awesome. I love it. How did that happen? That like obviously he knew the horse at some
Well,
point
he had
before.
seen her here, because he goes and sees his and they were actually in a paddock together, his horse and her, and he just
Oh,
decided he wants her. So
just liked her. You never know, do you? Right? Like, it, yeah. It's funny how I mean it happens more often than people. That's why I always say it's so important to get people feet through the door, right? Get people to the place. Yes, you can sell horses without anybody ever physically being at the same location, but the magic so often happens when people just come there and meet the horse.
I
And
I have to agree. All the advertising I've done on horses, almost every one, it's been someone has come and said, "Oh, I see you have an Arabian farm," and they just come, and when they come, they pick out something. Like, screw
yeah,
all the advertising I have done, all the ads I've made, all the pictures I've taken. They come and they pick out a horse.
and it just
Most of them sell that way.
yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen that too. People literally just fall in love with them for whatever, just it just happens. And so again, yeah, getting feet through the doors, I think the number one best way to do it when you can, for sure. So cool. So let me see. So
Speaking
this
of
is my
which,
what?
oh, I
Oh, I
was
was just
saying,
saying, go
do you
ahead.
want to do this first?
Now, this was my last slide, and I just wanted to point out that this slide looks like this other slide, which is why when I got to this slide, I thought it was the last one, and then I looked at it and like, oh yeah, I put in this other last one. Because earlier I had said that was the last slide, and then I'm like, oh, that's not the last slide. That's actually a whole nother slide. But see, it looked the same as this slide, but not that much, but a little bit. It did to me. It doesn't look that much like the other one. Okay, Kristen, stop laughing at me. Just go away. Ugh, forget it.
I'll leave.
No,
You
So,
don't leave.
can remove tone and edit videos, Tina. It's all good.
okay, so speaking of getting people on the farm, Kristen and I came up with an idea of having a nut I've had in the past, so we were going to do it again, having an Easter egg hunt for the kids. And
Yes.
so Tina's helped me and Kristen has helped me even try to, if we could get the funding to pay for all that stuff, that's even better. Oh my gosh. Because
Yeah.
last time we set out 900 eggs. Took us
I
forever to fill those dang eggs.
I can't 900. How did you come up with 900?
You
Why so many
bought a
eggs?
lot of eggs at this store.
Holy moly. Yeah. I
What
I
kind
was
of
like,
egg? Like real eggs?
Like plastic eggs. And then we had
Oh,
5
plastic
gold
egg.
eggs. And when the kids found the gold eggs, they were only allowed to take one. So if they found a second one, they had to leave it.
oh, I
And the
like
gold eggs got them an extra prize.
interesting. So what did you put in all the eggs? Because I was wondering about that. I was like, what does one put in these?
Candies, chocolates, mints, things.
Okay. Things like that,
And
which
yeah. Little we bought a bag that had like little toys. So there were little rings and um
good idea.
just little party favor toys.
Tchotchkes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's great. That was interesting. And so you did that on Easter before.
No, no, we did it the day
Oh,
before,
day
which is
before
what we're
Easter.
going to do this time, the day before Easter.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
And the
So,
kids came out and they decorated a bag. We had things to color the bags and stick on and glue on the bags. We had glue sticks and markers, and they could decorate the bags, and then they filled up the bags.
oh,
And the
that's
nice thing was
cool.
they were small-ish bags, so they didn't get a huge pile of
Right.
of Easter eggs. They got a decent amount of Easter eggs.
Yeah, reasonable about.
Yeah,
I
and
love it. I
and
have a
then it was enough for
question.
all the kids. And
That's cool.
we had a table with coloring things, and they had Easter little scenes to color, and they had Arabian horses to color because AHA provides that. They have a little thing that has like the parts of the horse and a coloring page and stuff.
Right. It's nice to get. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Love it.
I think we had some little snacks, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
probably, if we can get this scholarship, whatever, when you want
Right.
grant,
Right.
then we would do that again, and we'd be able to do lemonade and stuff for the kids.
I love it. I think that's wonderful.
I
And
have a question.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
How long did it take you to fill 900 eggs?
We did it over a week. We had like 3 or 4 of us, and we just do it for like an hour and then put them away, and then
Wow.
next day do it for like an hour. It probably took
How many did you find?
4 people.
Well,
It took
down
about
100.
4
There's still 800
people
there.
I'd say it took 4 people about 6 hours total to fill 900 eggs.
Wow. Yeah.
And
That's a project.
but it was trying to keep them all organized in the meantime. until we could get them outside. And then it was, oh my
You
God,
had
it
to
was
hide them.
exhausting hiding them all. What I do is
Yeah.
I let the hunt field get a little to the grass, get a little tall. You drop one, you cannot see it unless you're standing over it. So we go, there it is the field, they're in the field. And they're like, well, we don't see eggs. I'm like, that's the point. So they had to walk around and look down. But
Oh,
yeah, there
wow.
were probably
Just throw them
about
out there.
2 weeks ago, I found an egg that had been out there since last year.
Inevitable. There's no way they're
Yeah,
going to find all of them.
most of them that
They'll
don't
go
get picked,
somewhere else next year, you know. They'll go to the same spot. Or they found old eggs and get sick.
no, no. I think we're good. But we have the first time I mowed the hunt field, we found about 20 afterwards. I
I'm
was like,
sure.
oh my gosh. So
Oh, dear.
we were picking up little pieces of foil from the kit chocolates and
Yes.
pieces of plastic. It was crazy.
Oh dear. That's funny. Yeah. But that's so cool. I mean, everyone loves Easter egg hunts, right?
Mhm.
And what a great way to get people onto the property. And I know that when I've
Thanksgiving.
done events during holidays, they've usually done well when they're before the holiday because parents are like trying to keep the kids from climbing the walls because kids get so excited. And so to have something interesting and fun and different to do other than just sitting at home usually is very welcome by the parents. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really popular. We had a lot of people. All of my clients that had little kids came, and then we had um, some of the neighbors, around the farm came, and then we had other people that I'd never seen before, which is nice. And
Absolutely.
they had a great time. So
Love it. I love it. That's awesome. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for that for this year. So cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
are we moving on to the Shopify stuff?
Yeah, we can actually.